Uruguay. I got here today from Buenos Aires. I got the boat and then the bus. So I got the boat to Colonial and then Colonial to Montevideo. Montevideo on the bus. And I didn't have much planned for tonight because I was like, just walk around the city for a few hours and then chill. However, when I got to the hostel, I met a girl and she told me about a football game. So if you don't know, the football stadium here is the first FIFA World Cup stadium. So the first FIFA World Cup was held here. And today we watched the game between the women's Argentina and Uruguay teams. Unfortunately, Uruguay didn't win. They tied, but Argentina got 2 yellow cards and Uruguay didn't get any, so I'm saying Uruguay won. But no, it was actually a really fun experience. And yeah, I'm so tired although it's been a long day. Yeah, it's been cool coming to the first World Cup stadium and watching a World Cup game. They're only the qualifiers, but still, I'm counting it. So bye, see you in the morning. Good morning. Today is a very rainy morning, so I have come to the Andes Museum. Now, if you don't know, in 1972 there was a plane crash in the Andes, and it was a group of rugby players that took off from Uruguay to go and have a game in Santiago, Chile. However, there was really bad weather, so they stopped in Argentina, stayed there overnight, and then they had to leave within 24 hours because of their visas. So they had to cross the Andes in bad weather. And unfortunately, this meant that they did crash. Now, I didn't really know a lot about this whole situation until I got here. And I've only done there's 3 floors. I've only done the first floor so far. And so you get to watch a video first, explaining what happened, and then there's a simulator for the cold. So the simulator is minus 20 degrees and you're in there for less than 2 minutes, and it was cold, and they experienced anywhere from minus 10 to minus 40 degrees at night, and they had the winds and they had to walk, and they were about 3,500 meters above sea level, so really not fun. And from what I can understand, the plane took off with 42 people inside and only 15 of them survived. So I'm going to walk around the rest now, but so far I do recommend it. So I have now walked around the whole of the museum, and honestly I'm just shocked that I didn't know more about this. So it was actually 45 people that boarded and 16 survived. But honestly, reading the stories is so sad. They have the letters that people wrote, the actual letters. One of them was 3 hours before he died. And honestly, it's shocking that so many people went through this and so many of them survived. But yeah, there is also a couple of films that they have remade it, so you could watch the films. I'll put the names of the films on the screen so you could watch it and learn about it. So I'll put them on the screen, but it's quite upsetting. And it makes me wonder if Argentina changed their visa laws now, because they only left because they had to be out of the country in 24 hours. And if they'd just been given longer, the weather would have changed and it would have been so much safer. Wow, 72 days they survived in the Andes. 72 days. And on day 10 they heard on the radio that they weren't going to be rescued anymore. Wow. I don't think I could survive 72 days in those conditions. No. But yeah, definitely worth coming for a visit if you're ever here. And I'm going to check out the film. I don't know if you are. But yeah, I'm going to go for lunch now, and then we have a walking tour after around the old city, so I'll get more of the history of the city. Hopefully slightly happier. I mean, it's happy that 16 of them survived, so we'll just think of the positives. Yeah. And one of the deceased fathers did actually say in the interview he's glad that 45 of them went, because it meant that 16 of them could survive, because they did a little bit of cannibalism to survive. And if that many hadn't gone, then that many wouldn't have survived. But yeah. Anyway, enough about this. I will see you in a bit. This is the Palacio Salvo, once envisioned as a grand hotel and now converted into apartments. At Plaza Independencia, the Artigas statue honours Uruguay's first leader, José Gervasio Artigas, who fought for independence from Spain and is regarded as the country's national hero. Nearby, Teatro Solis, one of the oldest theatres in the Americas, dates back to 1856 and has hosted some of the world's finest performances. And throughout the city, you'll hear the beats of candombe, a lively Afro-Uruguayan music and dance tradition born from the African slaves who shaped the nation's culture. And welcome to my final day in Montevideo. So today it's actually good weather, as you can see, which means I can do the walk along the promenade. Now the walk takes a long time. It's 20 kilometres there, 20 kilometres back, so I probably won't be able to do the whole thing. However, I reckon I can do at least half of it. And the first thing that has caught my attention, shall we say, is they've made a ledge over the, I don't know if you can really call it the beach, so you can sit along it and look out to sea. Just sat on a ledge. Yeah. So I'm going to start walking, and if I see anything interesting along the way, you will too. Now I have just walked around the first beach on this, what's it called? They call it Rambla here, so I keep forgetting the name in English. But yeah, anyway, I just walked around the first beach, and I really want to know if this sand is imported, because it's so white, and yet obviously the tide's out a lot now, but this bit's really dark, and the rest of the coast that we walked past all along there is all just rocks. So it seems odd that this bit would have perfect white sand when the rest of the coastline is rocks. So I'll Google that and I'll put on the screen if it's imported or not. But yeah, it's been a lovely walk so far. I've done I think I did 4.5 kilometres. There's random little signs everywhere. So we'll keep going for now. And yeah, I think there's a lighthouse coming up, so I'll probably see you when I get to the lighthouse. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here because I'm over halfway and I've still got to walk back. So this is where I've got to. We've got a little dog training park and football grounds. The lighthouse is over there. I'll put a video in of where it actually is. But you can't actually go up to it because it's the entrance is closed. So yeah, you can only see it from the side on. But it's been a lovely walk. If you keep going, there are 2 more beaches. I don't know if they're nicer, but it's hot. It's hot enough to walk along today, and like the wind's not too bad, but it's not hot enough to go in the sea. Plus it's very brown, like very brown, and it's not inviting me in, so I'm gonna skip that. But no, I think I might have a quick chat about Montevideo, and I can finally pronounce it after 3 days of being here. Montevideo is called Montevideo because when the Portuguese, because the Portuguese first owned it, when the Portuguese owned it, they put a fort on the 6th mountain to look at the ships coming in from the sea. So it's Mount 6 Deo. I don't really know why Deo. Maybe it's for view or something. Yeah, so it's basically named the 6th mountain town. And the mountain's not really a mountain, it's more like a little hill. It's only like 500 meters tall, but it's one of the biggest they've got in Uruguay. It's a very flat country. So that's the name. I did have a cheeky little Burger King for lunch, and now before you judge me, Uruguay has 4 cows per person that lives in the country, so they have a lot of beef, and now the burgers are very expensive because the meat is so good. So I had a steakhouse burger, so it's like proper nice beef, and honestly it was one of the best burgers I've ever had in my entire life, and it was like relatively expensive when you think about the fact that it is like fast food. It was 625 or 645 Uruguayan, which is about £12, maybe £13. I'll check the bank and put it on the screen, but that was a lot cheaper than like if I went to a proper sit down restaurant and had one. So I'm fine with, and it was huge, like honestly the guy was like, you can get a double and it'll fill you up more. I was like, okay. It came out, it was like, you do not need to double it. Yeah, so I'm glad that was my meal of the day. But yeah, it was really good. The meat is really good. I would say the meat here is better than Argentina, which I am shocked by because everyone was like Argentinian beef is the best, and I don't eat a lot of beef, but I tried it there and I tried it here, and I would say here's better. It's slightly more expensive, but better. Although, yeah. Anyway, that's enough of me jibber jabbering. I'm gonna walk back. But yeah, I would definitely say if you're in Argentina or Brazil and you have time to spend a few days here, definitely do. Personally, I have enjoyed Montevideo more than Buenos Aires, so I'd recommend coming here instead of there, but it's more like what you like to do when you're in a city. So yeah, anyway, let's head back.